In recent global developments, President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa made headlines when he announced that he had officially invited the United States President-elect, Donald Trump, for a state visit. This invitation, which has sparked considerable discussion and debate both domestically and internationally, came during Ramaphosa's engagement with the media following the conclusion of the G20 summit in Brazil. This summit was significant not only because of the leaders it brought together but also because Brazil formally handed over the presidency of the G20 to South Africa. This marks the beginning of South Africa's leadership term, which is set to start on December 1, culminating in the country hosting the G20 Leaders Summit in 2025. This invitation and the surrounding political context highlight the deep and complex relationship between South Africa and the United States. Ramaphosa emphasized the importance of collaboration, stating that he looks forward to working with Trump, as well as with other global leaders, in preparation for the G20 summit in South Africa. According to Ramaphosa, the cooperation between the US, South Africa, and Brazil will be crucial as the three nations navigate their interconnected responsibilities and ambitions over the next 2 to 3 years. He stressed the value of diplomacy and adherence to international protocols, underscoring the need for constructive engagement between nations. For South Africa, this is a moment of opportunity and potential challenge. The G20 presidency offers a platform to showcase the nation's leadership on global issues such as economic development, climate change, and international trade. At the same time, it brings with it the responsibility of fostering unity among some of the world's most influential economies. This becomes even more complex when factoring in Trump's anticipated return to the White House in January, a development that has already elicited mixed reactions within South Africa and beyond. The relationship between South Africa and the United States has long been marked by moments of both collaboration and tension. Historically, the US has been a critical trade partner for South Africa, with agreements like the African Growth and Opportunity Act, or AGOA, playing a pivotal role in facilitating trade and economic growth. However, Trump's prior administration was known for its protectionist policies, and this history raises concerns about the future of agreements like AGOA. Many South Africans fear that Trump's return could lead to the renegotiation or even termination of such agreements, a move that could have significant consequences for South Africa's economy, particularly in export-driven sectors that rely heavily on US markets. To better understand the potential impact of Trump's policies on South Africa, it's important to look at the history of AGOA and its role in the relationship between the two nations. AGOA, which was enacted in 2000, has been a cornerstone of US-Africa trade relations, providing eligible African countries, including South Africa, with duty-free access to the US market for thousands of products. This agreement has not only boosted South Africa's exports but also created jobs and supported industries such as agriculture, manufacturing, and textiles. However, during his previous term, Trump often questioned the value of such trade agreements, favoring policies that prioritized American interests. This approach has left many South African businesses and policymakers uncertain about what lies ahead. International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola recently spoke about the evolving relationship between South Africa and the United States, describing it as dynamic and multifaceted. He emphasized the need for continued engagement with the White House on critical issues such as trade, AGOA, and PEPFAR, the U.S. President's emergency plan for AIDS relief. Lamola acknowledged that while there are bound to be challenges, South Africa remains committed to finding mutually beneficial solutions through dialogue and negotiation. His remarks reflect the broader sentiment within South Africa's government, a recognition of the complexities of the US-South Africa relationship and a determination to navigate these complexities in a way that serves the country's interests. Beyond trade, the broader geopolitical implications of Trump's presidency cannot be ignored. His administration's approach to global diplomacy has often been characterized by unpredictability, a factor that could influence South Africa's G20 presidency and its efforts to address pressing global issues. For example, Trump's stance on climate change has historically clashed with the positions of many other world leaders, including those in Africa. As South Africa prepares to host the G20 summit in 2025, these differences could pose challenges to achieving consensus on key issues. At the same time, Trump's involvement in the G20 troika, alongside South Africa and Brazil, presents opportunities for collaboration. The troika, a structure designed to ensure continuity and consistency in G20 agendas, requires the three nations to work closely together. For South Africa, this means finding ways to align its priorities with those of the US and Brazil while also advocating for the interests of developing nations. Ramaphosa's emphasis on diplomacy and protocol suggests a willingness to engage constructively with Trump, despite potential differences in policy and approach. The invitation for Trump to visit South Africa also holds symbolic significance. It signals South Africa's commitment to fostering strong relationships with global powers, even in the face of uncertainty. For Trump, accepting the invitation could be an opportunity to reset perceptions of his administration's engagement with Africa, which was often criticized during his first term. A successful state visit could pave the way for deeper collaboration on issues such as trade, health, and security, benefiting both nations. As we look to the future, the question remains, how will South Africa navigate its relationship with the US under Trump's leadership? Will the two nations find common ground on critical issues, or will their differences create new challenges? The answers to these questions will depend not only on the actions of their leaders but also on the broader context of global politics and economics. The coming years will undoubtedly be a critical period for South Africa, both in its role as a G20 leader and in its bilateral relationship with the US. As the world watches these developments unfold, one thing is clear: the decisions made during this time will have far-reaching implications, not just for South Africa and the US, but for the global community as a whole. Thank you for watching this in-depth exploration of the evolving relationship between South Africa and the United States. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. We'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about Trump's return to the White House and its potential impact on South Africa? Let us know and join the conversation. Until next time, stay informed and take care.